Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility on this Wednesday, new review day, of course, each and every week, most of the time. Today, our first week back from COVID, trying to get caught up on some stuff that I've been looking to review for a few weeks. And these two are next in line here. This finishes up the reissue series for Psychotic Waltz. Of course, the great U.S. progressive metal band who deserve way more attention than they've gotten. And we've got the reissue from Inside Out of Into the Everflow, which is their second album. And, of course, their third album, which is Mosquito. And these, of course, follow up the first two which came out, which was their debut, A Social Grace, and their fourth album, Bleeding, which we talked about here on the channel about a month ago when they first came out. But now we're going to get caught up on the other two to finish out the series. So, of course, these are all reissued by Inside Out, the original albums remastered, and a bonus disc of all sorts of extra stuff. So let's take a look at Into the Everflow, or Everflow, however you like to say it first. All right, these are all well put together packages. You got the two discs. Love the artwork of this album. Kind of reminds me of Awaken the Guardian by Fate's Warning. Of course, not done by Johannes, though. So, and then the booklet here. All these booklets contain a wealth of photographs and all sorts of information about the creation of these albums and the reissue process and all the extras, right? So you got the full lyrics here, as well as, like I said, photographs. If you're a fan of the band, you know, got to have these to get all the bonus stuff. For those who didn't take the plunge to get these albums back in the day, they've long been out of print. So now is your chance to get them. And of course, the lineup for this album: Dan Rock on guitars, keyboards, piano and percussion, Buddy Lackey, otherwise known as Devin Graves later on, vocals, percussion, Norm Leggio, drums, percussion, Brian McAlpin on guitars, and Ward Evans on bass. So what you get on Into the Everflow, which, you know, for many people considered their magnum opus, I would say it. Most people I talk to, those first two albums are held in really, really high esteem, although the third, fourth, and fifth albums are great as well. So here, like I said, on disc one, you've got the original album remastered, plus an inclusion of their cover of Black Sabbath's Disturb and the Priest, which I've heard numerous cover versions of Disturb and the Priest. One of my favorite it's my favorite Sabbath song off of that album. And I love the Born Again album with Ian Gillan on vocals. And man, these guys knock it out of the park. You know, they don't do anything necessarily different with it, but man, they do a spot-on interpretation of this, with Buddy doing his best Ian Gillan impersonation, and you know, you got pretty good production on it, right, as opposed to that murky Born Again production. So it's pretty damn good. Over on disc two, and I said this with when I talked about these two reissues here, you know, Psychotic Waltz is one of these bands that, you know, they can dust out of the vaults rehearsal and demo recordings from them, and they sound so good compared to, I've heard so many other rehearsal and demo recordings from other metal bands over the years that get released on various reissues, and you kind of listen to it and the sound quality is like less than lacking, right? Here, these are just spectacular demo versions, right? So you've got on disc two here, you got the Into the Everflow demo from 1991. So Into the Everflow, Tiny Streams, Little People, Hanging on a String, Freak Show, and Butterfly. And they sound damn good. I mean, their demo recordings are almost fully realized studio recordings. You know, you don't get a couple of tracks. Like, it would have been kind of nice to hear Out of My Mind, which is one of my favorite songs on the album itself. Would have been nice to hear the demo version of that, but anyway, they're kick-ass. And then then you get four other tracks from when the band were known as Aslan. Okay, Aslan, of course, the lion from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? That was their original name before they became Psychotic Waltz. So you get four tracks from 1987, right before they changed their name. You get To Chase the Stars, No Glory, Spiral Tower, and the Fry Tape. Again, excellent sounding demo recordings. A couple of those tracks you know, obviously, from the first album. And then you get the 8-track demo of A Social Grace, the first album, also from 1989. So you get Halo of Thorns and The Devil Cried, successor, and Eye of the Storm. And maybe you'll remember that on the Social Grace reissue, you get the actual Psychotic Waltz demo from 1989. So not the actual Social Grace demo, but the before they decided that was going to be the name of the first album, and that you have A Devil Cried, Successor, Halo of Thorns, and Eye of the Storm. So basically the same 4 tracks, right? But yeah, all sounding excellent. This is just such a great album, and the actual album sounds fantastic. The remastered version of it, but like I said, all these demo versions, or there's little tweaks and things here and there that sound a little bit differently from the actual album versions that we all have come to know. But it's just amazing how great these sound. Like I said, these are pretty much, you could have taken any of these, and that's the album right there. Never mind the fact that they're demos. So there's that. So then we got, of course, Mosquito, their third album. Again, similar type setup here. Got a cool shot of the band there. All right, let's take out the. So here they tell the story about how they played that festival over in Europe, and they got friendly with the band Death, right? And they loaned Death's equipment got stolen or whatnot, and they loaned them their stuff, and they wound up working with the same producer for this album. So that started up the whole friendship there between the bands. In fact, there's a nice little, I'm trying to remember which album it's on. There's a nice little essay from Steve DiGiorgio. I believe it's on the other album. Yeah, it's on Into the Everflow. Of course, Steve DiGiorgio played with Death, played with Sadist, right? And he talks about his friendship over the years with the band. But very cool. And there's a track-by-track breakdown, which is kind of nice, right? And then, of course, you got all the great photographs and whatnot. There's Buddy. Look at that kind of cool guitar, right? It was the last time you saw something like that. And of course, for this particular record, Brian McAlpin on guitars, Buddy Lackey vocals and flute, Dan Rock guitars and sequencing, Norman Leggio drums, and Ward Evans on bass. Right, so yeah. And like I said, produced by Scott Burns and the band. Scott, of course, worked with Death as well. So yeah, and on this one, what we have as far as the bonus track. So here you've got the Mosquito Jam Room demo from 1993, and it's based most of the albums. You got Mosquito with different lyrics: Love Stone Blind, Lockdown, Dancing in the Ashes, Haze One, Only Time, All the Voices, Cold, Shattered Sky, and Mind Song. Right, so really you're only missing Haze One. It's really all you're missing. Oh no, Haze One is on there. What's Shattered Sky? Shattered Sky is the one you're missing. No, that's on here too. Dancing in the Ashes. No, that's there. Which is the song that's Only Time? All the Voices. Mind Song. No, that's on here too. Darkness. Darkness is all you're missing. Trying to compare the two. But again, my point is here that these, again, it's a jam room demo. It sounds amazing. Most bands would kill to have an actual album that sounds this good. Then you've got the instrumental daily studio outtakes from 1994. No vocals, Haze One, Mind Song, Mosquito, and Lockdown. Some have one guitar, some have no guitars, clean guitars, no clean guitars, whatever. And then the actual Mosquito demos for All the Voices, The Fallen, Mind Song, Sketch, and Watching. Right, so of course, some of those song titles have changed. And then the unused ideas from 1992, a couple little acoustic pieces, and Dark Idea. So again, all sounding really, really good. That has been consistent throughout this entire reissue program. The only thing that I wish we got more of is that we get some live soundboard stuff on the Bleeding. I wish there were more like live tracks included here, but like maybe a full live concert or something like that from one of these festivals or whatnot, because I know they played live quite a bit, but it's okay. The other stuff is very cool as well. And again, how often you're going to listen to the demos and rehearsal stuff, I don't know, but it's the main albums we all know and love and really want. But like I said, if you've never had any of these before, or you're missing a few, now's the time to go out and get these, because it's kind of a no-brainer. Get them before they're gone, I would say. But the rehearsal stuff and the demo stuff just sounds so spectacular. Like I said, I've heard many other reissues from other bands where they include rehearsal and demo recordings, and you just kind of like you cringe because they sound like shit. These don't. These you could easily tell anybody. Oh, here's the album, right? And it's just a demo. It's like, wow, that sounds amazing. That's a great album. It's like, yeah, that's the demo version. So yeah, so that's what we got so far to finish up the series. All right, Mosquito. Bleeding was last time, and Into the Everflow. That now pairs up with Social Grace and Bleeding. So now we got the whole set of 4. And then, of course, they released that the 5th album a number of years ago, right, which makes up the collection of 5 albums from Psychotic Waltz, one of the most underrated progressive metal bands of all time. If you've never taken the step in, well, now's the time to do so. You got these all available from Inside Out. It's quite the collection here. Very, very well done. And 5 out of 5 star for all of these, because the albums are just so good, and these are great packages, great reissue packages. Like I said, the only thing, I wish we had more live stuff, but is what it is. I can live without it. And great booklets and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.